I had been reborn. I had returned to the day when my roommate Lin Jiejia was wearing black lace lingerie and doing yoga on the balcony. Everyone, when doing this move, you need to engage your waist and abdomen. Her soft, coy voice drifted into my ears. I watched her pose seductively in front of the camera, dressed in black lace that left just enough to the imagination, and it overlapped with the memory of her pushing me out to take the blame, leaving me to die miserably on the street. In my last life, I advised her to have some self-respect, but she instead called me old-fashioned and jealous. In this life, I looked at her puckered up butt and smiled. Jiejia, you really have a great figure. If I had a body like yours, I'd be even more arrogant than you. My roommate, wearing black lace underwear, was basking in the sunlight while practicing how to perk up her butt. She was also making short videos of this outfit and sharing her workout tips online. Right across from it was the boys' dormitory. In my previous life, I advised her to exercise indoors instead. It would be best to delete all the videos online as well, otherwise, it would be very easy to attract the attention of lechers. The roommate looked at me with clear disdain. Dirty people see everything as dirty. This isn't a feudal society. We women should have the freedom to wear whatever we want. You're just jealous that I'm well endowed, with a big chest and a curvy butt, and that I make more money from posting short videos. You're just envious, aren't you? Later, my roommate's photo was posted on the confession wall, attracting perverts who started following her. She happily accepted all the gifts and transfers from the creeps, then turned around and pushed me out to take the fall. I was called a slut by alumni, forcibly taken to a nightclub, and eventually dropped out of school due to depression. On the way home, I was followed into a deserted alley by more than a dozen perverted little gangs, raped, humiliated, and beaten to death. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day my roommate was doing yoga on the balcony in black lace lingerie. Guys, when doing this move, you have to tighten your waist and abdomen. A soft, delicate voice reached my ears, and when I looked up, I saw my roommate Lin Jiejia filming a short yoga video on the balcony. Her breasts were large, and the lace lingerie she had bought was too small, barely able to cover only half of them, while the other half was provocatively exposed, making her look extremely obscene. This scene felt far too familiar, leaving me somewhat dazed. In my previous life, it was right at this moment that I stepped forward to stop Lin Jiejia's behavior. Not only did I tell her that the balcony was crowded and full of prying eyes, but also that the boys' dormitory facing us had an unobstructed view of this side at a glance. But there are too many different kinds of people on the internet, and I've always felt she was led astray by others, which is why she made those kinds of videos. Only in this life, after Lin Jiejia finished exercising and recording her video, she pointed at my nose and said bossily, "Chen-Ling, are you going to start spouting your brain-dead feudal ideas again? I'll say it one more time, whatever I do has nothing to do with you, mind your own business, okay?" Hearing those familiar words, with exactly the same tone, I finally confirmed that I really, truly had been reborn. This time I didn't try to stop her at all. Instead, I kept praising her. "Jiejia, your figure is amazing. I was too narrow-minded before. With a body like yours, of course you should show it off boldly. If I had your figure, I'd probably be even more cocky than you." Lin Jiejia looked at me half-believingly, a smug expression flashing across her face before she raised her chin and said, "Fine then. Seeing as you haven't completely been indoctrinated by feudal thinking, I'll forgive you for being so talkative earlier. By the way, where's the meal I told you to bring? You didn't forget it, did you? How can you not even handle such a trivial thing?" My eyes fell on the meal I had just gotten. To maintain her figure, Lin Jiejia had to eat very good ingredients every meal, expensive and refined ones. My family brought me meals every day, and she racked her brains to take advantage of it. At first, it was a meal of boiled shrimp, sweet and sour pork tenderloin, braised pork with preserved mustard, greens, fresh lettuce, and 2 bananas. She spent 10 yuan and, as if bestowing a favor, shared that meal with me. Later, taking advantage of my desire to change her shameless behavior, she grew even more excessive and started demanding eggs, meat, milk, and fruit as well. There were even a few times when, because the dish contained green peppers she didn't like, Lin Jiejia outright smashed the lunchbox my parents had brought me. She often complained that her family of origin was poor, that both of her parents wanted to trade her for a bride price, and that as a result she had developed a very serious mental illness, sometimes causing her to do things that hurt others. And I was like a saint. After learning all this, I indulged her in everything and gave in to her at every turn, only to end up framed by her and beaten to death on the street. By then, she had already been ostracized for a long time. And I was the only one who refused to believe it and insisted on playing with her. As it turned out, some people are ostracized for a reason. Collecting my thoughts, I said to Lin Jejia, sorry, Jejia, something happened at home recently, and my parents are busy these days, so they probably won't be able to come to school to bring me lunch. You should just go eat in the cafeteria by yourself. The food in our school cafeteria is actually pretty good. As soon as I finished speaking, Lin Jejia flew into a rage as expected. She grabbed the vanity mirror beside her and hurled it straight at me. I had been on guard, so I dodged her attack. Seeing that I had dodged, Lin Jejia burst into curses. You actually want me to go eat in a cafeteria meant for low-class people? Chen-Ling, I think you must be seriously sick. Don't you know who I am? I'm an influencer with 100,000 followers now. Wouldn't it ruin my image to eat those low-class people's food? I kept a cold face and remained silent. Lin Jejia kept going. Say something. I see that you just want to eat the food uncle and auntie made all by yourself. Do you even have any shame? Your own good friends didn't get to eat, and you just kept it all to yourself. Or do you think $10 for a meal still isn't enough? Why are you so money obsessed? You filthy gold digger. Didn't your parents teach you not to be so obsessed with money, you uncultured trash? I finally exploded in a fit of rage and threw a punch after punch. I hit Lin Jejia in the face. You eat for free at my house every day, use my skincare products, steal my clothes and bags. Fuck your mother. I've never seen anyone as disgusting as you, you shameless thief. You beggar freeloading off others. Eat, eat, you love eating. Fine, I'll let you eat slaps until you've had your fill, too. As expected, Lin Jejia told the counselor about it. There are only 2 people living in our dorm room, and the counselor probably knows a bit about our situation too. I'm the only daughter in my family, from a well-off background, and I'm gentle and warm-hearted by nature. Last time when Lin Jejia's father came to the school to make a scene, I was the one who paid 5,000 yuan to settle the matter. Lin Jejia is the 3rd daughter in her family, with a younger brother below her, and she's usually the one left out. She doesn't have a very good reputation among the students, and ever since she started doing social media, she's gotten used to being mean and arrogant. For a moment, there really wasn't anyone willing to speak up for Lin Jejia. The counselor, with a strong and upright personality, still decided to investigate the cause of the matter. In the office, the counselor questioned each of us separately. Lin Jejia curled her lips, sitting in the chair with her arms crossed, looking very disdainful. Who knows about her? She's like a lunatic. I just ate a couple of bites of her food, and she started cursing at me and hitting me. With a roommate like this, I really don't know how I'm supposed to keep living with her. Hearing this, I burst into tears. For the past year, you've eaten the meals my parents cooked every single day. Today something happened at home, so I didn't give you any to eat, and you threw things at me. How have I wronged you? Whenever there was anything good, I would buy 2 portions. You call me feudal every day, insult me for being gold digging. When have I ever said anything about you? I was choking up as I cried. It wasn't an act. I was crying from the heart, thinking about all the diligence and effort I had put in over this past year, thinking about my heart nearly shattered every time she insulted me, thinking about the fear that kept me from even going out because of my schoolmates' abuse, thinking about the dread of being followed by those people, thinking about that night of humiliation. I asked myself, all I wanted was to save a girl in the abyss. How did it end up like this? The counselor went to the dormitory to verify everything carefully and confirmed that most of what I said was true. In the end, she returned to the office and made the final call on the matter. Jejia apologized to Lingling. Let's just let this go. Lin Jejia cried out in unwilling rage. Why? I did nothing wrong. She's the one at fault. Teacher, if she stays in that dorm, I can't live there. I let out an "oh," and said to the counselor, Teacher, for the sake of peace among classmates, please don't make things difficult. I can move out. What a joke. The first thing I thought about after being reborn was moving out. 3. When Lin Jejia heard that I was going to move out, she suddenly changed her tune. You don't have to move out. Buy me a Chanel bag, kneel down and kowtow to me twice, and I'll forgive you. She was reluctant to let such a blood bag slip away, yet unwilling to lose face, so she grandly put forward this condition. She was used to acting bossy and overbearing, and she showed no restraint at all, even in front of the counselor. The counselor was naturally quite blunt and righteous, so he immediately cut her off. Classmate Lin Jejia, your behavior is extortion, and the amount involved has already reached the threshold for a case. I can report this to the school at any time and have you suspended and disciplined. Of course, classmate Chen Ling can also report it to the police. By then, it won't be as simple as a suspension. The counselor's words put an end to Lin Jiejia's schemes. She glared at me viciously and mouthed, "Just you wait, I'll kill you sooner or later." I looked completely unconcerned and had the nanny bring over the home security camera. When I was getting ready to go back and clean up, I bumped into the dorm balcony so that Lin Jiejia wouldn't come up with some new scheme to put me in a fatal situation again. Of course, it was also for revenge. This time, if that bunch of perverts came swarming over again, I'd make sure Lin Jiejia died without a burial place. For back in the dorm, sure enough, Lin Jiejia had started her yoga workout again. This time she wore a seductive tight-fitting deep purple lingerie set, and even went without panties, exposing her pale thighs. In front of the camera, she struck a teasing, half-revealed pose, while from time to time letting out strange low moans. Her hips pressed downward and swayed back and forth, as if someone were exercising with her. Seeing some comments insulting her under her short video account, she directly turned voice into text and fired back at them one by one. "NUI, bad luck, you're just using exercise as a cover to sell yourself, aren't you? I searched for workout videos and got this instead. Disgusting. Lin Jiejia, does attacking women bring you happiness? A little girl who caters to men that year, Qingxua Dongi, you forgot to add your tags, so I'll add them for you. Hashtag borderline, hashtag Mike, hashtag male gaze, hashtag Lin Jiejia." As expected, dirty-minded people see dirt in everything. Want little Jia? What are you pretending for if you're not even wearing underwear? Lin Jiejia, so what, so what? Sweating yellow soybean emoji sticker. Half an hour after the video was posted, she had gained a few hundred more followers, because her family wasn't well off and her grades were just average. Lin Jiejia always compared herself to me. At that moment, she was on the balcony, striking all kinds of seductive poses in front of the mirror with exaggerated affectation, and she shot me a huge glare from afar. "I'm telling you, Chen Ling, you'll never be as popular as I am, so what if you have great parents, you still can't compare to me." Seeing that I didn't say anything, she quietly walked toward the dorm room door, cursing as she went. "Don't even think about taking a lot of things away. Those are all things I've worn, used, and touched. Once I've touched them, they're mine. You're not fit to use the things I've used. Did you hear me, bitch?" Chen Ling. She was about to continue speaking, but when she walked into the dorm room, she froze in shock and started screaming. "Ah, why are you barging into someone else's dorm room so casually?" In the dorm, several girls who had been helping me clean up the dorm were standing there awkwardly. Some had been helping me organize luxury handbags, others were packing clothes into my suitcase, and still others were cleaning the grime under my seat. That's right, in a few days it would be the day Lin Jiejia got photographed and posted on the confessions wall, to keep her from smearing me with false accusations, and to let some people see her true colors. I spent 100 yuan per person per hour on the confessions wall to heavily promote and hire several clear-eyed college students from our school to come to the dorm and help me clean up and move my things. Glancing at Lin Jiejia, whose lower body was bare, some people were nearly blinded. They didn't know whether to stand or sit, and hurriedly started cleaning up. What a floor this really was, and what clothes these really were. After helping me clean up, they didn't linger for even a moment and immediately slipped away. 5. A few days later, a photo quickly started circulating on the confession wall. Someone commented, "Wall, help me find this person, she's seducing me from the balcony across the way." It was a very blurry photo, black lace, a thong, pale white skin, a pose with her butt sticking out and her chest thrust forward. The blur only made it more suggestive. In just 2 days, this post's views had skyrocketed. One college guy commented, "Anyone got her contact info? Does anyone know who she is? This photo's making me rock hard. I'll spend a little money tonight. I don't want to spend the evening alone with my right hand anymore." A female college student commented, "Dressed so slutty. She's really ruining our image as women." Speechless. "Can we file a complaint?" Someone posted a facepalm laughing emoji, right across from Building B. "That woman is on the 4th floor, I stare at her every day, and the way her butt sways every day. I don't even need to search for videos anymore. Brothers, anyone want to make a move? Count me in." Someone posted a lewd drooling emoji, "Goddess, a goddess walking the earth." There were even some feminist commenters, "Little fairies can make money just by lying down, so nice." Many female students, after reading the comments, felt anxious and angry, and began indignantly searching for who this girl actually was. There were students on the website, and inevitably some members of the public as well. All kinds of comments poured in at once. but since it was a university, most of them were insults. I don't know what psychology Lin Jiejia was acting on, but I saw that she actually used a throwaway account to admit that it was her. Then, I saw her send a line of comment, "I'm Chen Ling from class XX13, 50 a night, feel free to add me on WeChat." Below that, she forwarded my WeChat ID, 6. I was almost furious. I took a screenshot of the dorm move post I had put up on the confession wall a few days earlier, because in that post I had noted my class and name, so this would become the strongest proof for my counterattack. I replied to the post. Image, open your damn eyes and look closely. Chen Ling moved out a few days ago. How could it be her? Lin Jiejia's alternate account immediately jumped out to argue. Moved out a few days ago. Maybe the guy on the confession wall was photographed a few days ago too, right? Hee, what a coincidence. He happened to photograph you on the day you moved out. The person who made the post also replied, it really was taken a few days ago. Someone went to investigate the general dormitory location and the dorm assignment list from last semester, and to everyone's surprise, they discovered that Chen Ling really was in that dorm. I looked at the filthy abuse they were spewing, and my hands and feet went cold, holding on to the last shred of humanity and some sense of conscience as a girl. I didn't want to go that far, but watching the comments spiral further out of control, I still resolutely uploaded screenshots from the video. In the photos, Lin Jiejia's face was clearly visible, along with the revealing lingerie she was wearing, the very same set shown in the post, with a clear front-facing photo. There was no need for things like dorm numbers at all. Those internet police swarmed in, and by tracing the slightest clues from Lin Jiejia's alt account posts, they directly found her in person. Those internet police had no idea that I was also stirring things up behind the scenes, feeding them clues little by little. They were utterly convinced by the information they dug up themselves, and immediately announced the result to everyone in plain terms on the message board. Everyone lined up in a row. Lin Jiejia from class XX, you're so slutty. Lin Jiejia from class XX, you're so slutty. XX class Lin Jiejia, you're so slutty. XX class Lin Jiejia, you're so slutty. Looking at those comments, I finally felt at ease, turned off the comments, and lay down to rest. 7. The next day, when I went to class, I heard a lot of people whispering. Lin Jiejia looked extremely bad. As soon as she saw me, she looked ready to rush over and tear me apart. Cursing, she said, Chen Ling, it was you. It must have been you, right? You spread my photos all over the place, and now those average men came harassing me. I sat in my seat, took out the textbook for the class that was about to start, and looked at her with wide, innocent eyes. What are you talking about? I moved out ages ago. How could I have taken those photos? It was definitely someone on the balcony using a camera. How can you blame me for that? Many people in the class had originally been doubtful, but hearing us discuss the matter, they instantly believed it 7 or 8/10 of the way. Although Lin Jiejia had been exposed, she was still the same as before, liking to sit among the boys. Several boys in our class immediately swarmed over like flies catching the scent of meat, and praised her eagerly. Jiejia, those photos of yours are so sexy. Yeah, seriously, they've got me completely hooked. Don't mind what some stupid girls say. They're just jealous of you, jealous that all of us like you. All you need to do is let us love and cherish you properly, like a delicate flower. Lin Jiejia, who had just been saying she hated plain but overconfident men, burst into giggles behind her hand when she saw so many boys fawning over him. With a proud look on her face, she said, I'm not the kind of girl who caters to men. You guys need to stop talking nonsense. One of the boys from a wealthy family said lazily, Yeah, you're really one of a kind. Lin Jiejia gave a coy huff, lightly pounding the boy's chest, only to have him catch her hand and breathe in her scent deeply. In fact, she had had her eye on this boy for a long time. The boy's surname was Wang, and he was a rich second-generation heir. One time, Lin Jiejia saw the luxury watch worth tens of thousands on his wrist, and after that she kept clinging to him, though in the teasing, half-keeping him hanging sort of way. Soon the boy lost interest in her and instead started bantering with other beauties. In my previous life, because Lin Jiejia identified me as the owner of the balcony photo, this boy latched onto me like a mad dog. As a result, Lin Jiejia's attitude toward me only got worse. Every day she would hit and insult me at the drop of a hat. At the time, my parents had gone abroad to handle some business matters, and I couldn't get in touch with them for several days. In endless despair, I gave up resisting. When I was completely unguarded, those boys in class drugged me and took me to a nightclub, calling it taking me out to see the world. I tried to call the police, but those boys found out. They simply threw me to a man with a disease, causing me to contract a sexually transmitted infection. They posted this on the confession wall, causing me to be publicly abused and insulted for a second time, and the school to order me to withdraw, watching my own skin slowly ulcerate, and then seeing the things those people were saying about me online. I ultimately couldn't accept myself becoming like this and developed very severe depression. In a dazed state, I walked into an alley and didn't even notice I was being followed. In the end, I died a violent death. My gaze darkened as I looked at Lin Jiejia, who was surrounded by the boys and wearing a delicate, charming smile, and I let out a cold laugh. This time, it's your turn, Lin Jiejia. 8. As expected, Lin Jiejia took the bait. She panicked, and the first thing she thought of was my number. Lingling, please, help me. Come quickly. Then she gave me the address of the nightclub. I almost felt sorry for her. On the other end of the phone, I heard another person's breathing. Clearly, this was a trap. In my previous life, I was harmed by a villain and had assumed that Lin Jiejia was the only one behind the evil acts, but those who stretched out their claws toward me were also a group of beasts who had long been plotting. Lin Jiejia had clearly teamed up with those beasts, worked out a plan, and lured me over. I got the nightclub's information and immediately called the police. On the phone, I pretended to be patient. I'm not going, Lin Jiejia cried. If you don't come now, something really bad is going to happen to me. I snorted coldly. You ingrate. Save you? I'd be lucky if you didn't bite the hand that tried to save you. She said one thing, and I shot back 3, cursing out all the resentment I'd built up over the years. Even the person on the other end gradually lost patience. I could vaguely hear words like, good girl, not playing, and, so much trouble, and could pretty much guess they were talking about me. They wanted to hang up, so I quickly changed course and said, where are you? I suddenly want to go again. Lin Jiejia couldn't hold back anymore and snapped in exasperation, are you coming or not? I had delayed for nearly half an hour. Looking at the message the police officer had sent me on my phone, I smiled and said, I'm not going, but someone else did. Listening to the sirens, curses, women's screams, fists and kicks, and the clatter of handcuffs over the phone, sounds that were clearly terrifying, I felt especially at ease. 9. On the Monday of the second week, I returned to class and found that several people from that group were missing, but Lin Jiejia and Wang Tu were still sitting properly in their seats. Wang Tu saw me take my seat and said pointedly to me, Chen Ling, quite a surprise, isn't it? I really was surprised. By all rights, both he and Lin Jiejia should have been arrested. Their intent to abduct and gang rape a minor, carried out as a group, was enough to constitute a criminal offense, and besides, I remember that on this night in my past life, several of them were on drugs, and I wasn't the only girl taken there. It absolutely met the standard for sentencing. The only possibility is that Wang Tu neither took drugs nor met these conditions. It's very possible that, while I was stalling for time, I exposed my purpose and let Wang Tu hide away. Looking at Wang Tu's heated gaze, I didn't answer him. Instead, after class ended, I hurriedly called my mom. On the phone, Mom's voice couldn't hide her weariness, but it still carried the joy of finally hearing from me after so long. Good girl, what's wrong? I almost couldn't hold back and burst into tears. Mom, I told Mom everything that had happened these past few days, and I also exaggerated a bit while badmouthing Wang Tu and Lin Jiejia. In the end, I restrained myself and pleaded with Mom. Mom, do you trust me? I'm really scared. I need to hire 7 or 8 bodyguards, or else I won't even dare step out of the house during this time. The painful memories still leave me with lingering fear to this day. There was a faint catch in Mom's voice, her love reaching me through the phone line. Mom didn't even know that our Lingling suffered so much at school. Please, definitely hire bodyguards, 10 or 8 of them if needed, to protect my baby 24 hours a day. From now on, if anything happens, you must tell your dad and me first. Dad and Mom will always be your strongest support, baby. At the other end of the phone, Mom was crying so hard she could barely speak. Mom loves you, and always will, so don't think of yourself as a burden or a problem. You have no idea how scared Mom was when I heard you say those things, my Lingling, just a little more, and Mom wouldn't have been able to see you anymore. I couldn't help but shed tears too. Yes, in my previous life, because my parents were being held overseas, I was worried about causing them trouble and kept swallowing my grievances, until things eventually spiraled completely out of control. How could I not be sad? I'm a child loved by my parents. In my last life, after I died, they must have been extremely extremely heartbroken and in pain. 10. My mother used her connections to hire 10 bodyguards for me. These 10 bodyguards were highly professional and reliable, taking turns to keep watch 24 hours a day, not far from my classroom, my room, and the route I took home. Although this caused some controversy, this time I handled the criticism calmly. On a weekend half a month later, a group of people tried to drag me into an alley. They put their hands all over me, but they were brutally beaten by 7 or 8 bodyguards who rushed over, and were thrown into the police station on charges of attempted rape. More than half of these people were minors. I used my mom's private detective to investigate their backgrounds one by one, and spent some money to spread the rumor that these juvenile rapists had committed the crime. Soon after, these teenagers couldn't withstand the pressure from public opinion and decided to drop out of school. Using funds provided by the mastermind behind the scenes, they purchased modified motorcycles and raced recklessly all over the place. In the end, after day of reckless partying, they got into a car accident out in the wild, and 2 of them died on the spot. The rest either broke their legs or suffered brain death. Those parents sent me text messages cursing at me, saying that if it weren't for me, their children would never have ended up like this. It's all because I wasn't magnanimous enough. If I hadn't hired these bodyguards, would have died in that alley. Those people got what they deserved, and these parents who failed to discipline them bear the greatest responsibility in this life. I will no longer be overwhelmed by saintly compassion. Everyone who has hurt me should pay the price. 11. Wang Tu's family had money, but no power. After this incident, Wang Tu somewhat restrained himself, and because the private investigator I hired kept closing in, he eventually couldn't hold out and applied for a leave of absence from school. I heard that not long after, he was found to have been on drugs during a prostitution crackdown, because when the police rushed in, he was still paying for sex and was so scared he went limp on the spot. After that, he never got hard again, living out his prison life with erectile dysfunction. He was fair-skinned and clean-cut, a wealthy young master, youthful and handsome, and soon became a target for the inmates in the same prison. They used going to the bathroom as an excuse and took turns assaulting him. When Wang Tu was discovered, he had only a breath left. He was still mumbling, "This is all karma." 12. Lin Jiejia still refused to give up. Since her reputation had gone to the dogs, she became even more indifferent. She spent her days tossing internet memes around, calling those people online pick-me brains, one moment, and the next openly doing naked yoga on the balcony. Eventually, she attracted some perverts. She added them on WeChat and sent them some photos that didn't show her face. She also took the initiative to post herself on short video platforms, filming custom private videos to make money, which she used to buy some high-end luxury goods. Originally, Lin Jiejia just wanted to earn some money and then stop, but it's easy to go from frugality to luxury, and hard to go from luxury back to frugality. After getting used to the taste of making quick money, when she saw an internship salary of just 2,000 or 3,000, she sneered dismissively. She skipped class, guessed through every exam, and relied entirely on lenient professors to get by. The bags she wanted to buy became more and more expensive, the perfumes she liked more and more luxurious, and even when she saw the brand I used before, she would snort contemptuously. Lin Jiejia felt this was a symbol of class, and that she and I were no longer in the same class. In order to buy these things used by the upper class, Lin Jiejia became increasingly without principles. In the end, she went to work part-time in a nightclub, where some guy wanted to keep her for a night and offered $3,500. Not long after, Lin Jiejia looked at her HIV-positive test report and roared in unwillingness, "Why am I so unlucky? I come from a bad family, and everyone I meet is a scumbag." Without my restraint and earnest persuasion, Lin Jiejia was surprised to find that she had already gotten used to filming those videos, and the videos she posted became more and more lacking in boundaries, getting banned several times. She faintly felt that it shouldn't be like this. Right now, she should be wearing beautiful dresses and living a decent life on a university campus, and Chen Ling should have been the one who fell into the abyss as a slut. 13. After 2 months, Lin Jiejia sent me a message again. "Lingling, those videos of mine, take a look. Aren't they a bit revealing? That's not very good." She hesitated for a while, and in the end only typed out these words. I replied sarcastically, "Not at all. Didn't you say this is freedom in dressing, and that dirty eyes see everything as dirty?" Lin Jiejia bragged, "Some handsome guys have been pestering me. Sigh, I'm so troubled. Want me to introduce 2 to you? Looks like you still haven't found a partner." I replied coldly, "Idiot." I blocked her and deleted her in one fell swoop. She persisted in switching accounts to add me. Because of what happened last time, she was somewhat wary of me, yet she still wanted to set a trap for me. I opened WeChat, searched for the HIV post-exposure prophylaxis mini program, and found that, sure enough, one more friend was using it, and my WeChat friends list got hit with requests from more than a dozen people, holding back the urge to swear. I added all of those dozen or so people, and then things got weird. I gave A's WeChat to B, saying it was my alternate account, and then gave B's WeChat to A, telling him the same thing, that it was my alternate account. I repeated this pattern and played matchmaker for over a dozen people, pairing off 7 couples. Since you like messing with people, then go mess with each other. 14. Within less than 24 hours, my phone was blown up by Lin Jiejia. There were 2 men who met, some who picked fights with each other, and some who, regardless of past grudges, went straight to bed together. But once they learned the other person was also a fellow patient, none of them were willing to pay up, and they all went to give Lin Jiejia trouble. Her personal information was exposed by the group members, and this time she was completely done for. The online crowd was outraged, angrily denouncing her for maliciously spreading the disease. 15. I saw Lin Jiejia again 2 years later. I worked at my parents' company, and on the way home from work I ran into a scavenger. Her hair was disheveled and her face filthy. She carried a dark yellow woven plastic sack on her back, and her skin was covered in sores. She was no longer the young, beautiful, and haughty woman she had once been. As soon as she saw me, Lin Jiejia acted as if she had seen a savior, nearly throwing herself at me, shouting, "You're the one who should be sick, you're the one who should die. It's all your fault that I ended up like this for that little bit of money, because of what happened before." I had been working out regularly for a long time, and I easily dodged her touch. Only after hearing Lin Jiejia's words did I realize that she had been reborn too, but this time, with no one to stop her, she was expelled from school for misconduct, without a prestigious university degree, with youth long gone, infected with a venereal disease, and oppressed by her parents. She can only survive by scavenging, reduced to a bag of bones. I still remember the first time I saw her, her innocent smile, and the shy way she asked if I wanted to try the local specialty from her family. If in the repeated encounters that followed, Lin Jiejia had not lost her true self, had not pursued the luxury brought by easy money, and had not lost herself to the false label of being above others, if she were willing to return to the right path, she would likely still have a brilliant and bright life. I watched her coldly. The gift bestowed by fate had already had its price secretly marked, those shortcuts people want to take, the self-abasing flattery born of losing dignity and self-respect, and the unrestrained comparisons, will all turn into endless blood and tears shed in every night to come. I left a butterfly hair clip where I stood. It was the gift Lin Jiejia picked out for me at a boutique when she got her first part-time paycheck. She stood there, staring at this butterfly hairpin for a very long time, and I moved forward toward my new life. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. After the college entrance exam, my childhood friend suddenly fell seriously ill, urgently needing 8,000 yuan for surgery. Just as I was anxiously about to transfer money to the bank account he mentioned, a comment appeared in front of me. Transfer it, and transfer away your college entrance exam results, and your life too. The female supporting character with a one-track mind about love really deserved it. She didn't even think about why the male lead just happened to need surgery money that was exactly the same as her tuition fee. It was clearly a setup to scam her. Without a second thought, she transferred the money. No wonder she ended up regretting it so much that she jumped to her death. No wonder it's a brainless, feel-good story. If she didn't transfer the money to the female lead, how would the female lead use the system to swap her college entrance exam scores, get into Tsinghua or Peking University, and live an extraordinary life? The male lead is incompetent, the female supporting character is obsessed with love, but my female lead is smart. She only uses the two of them as stepping stones. Cheering for my sister. Seeing their comments, I froze. I turned around and dialed the police emergency number. "Hello, I would like to report a case of fraud." As the scrolling comments appeared before my eyes, I was just one digit away from transferring my entire tuition fee to my childhood friend. But they said I was just a supporting character in a mindless big female lead action novel, and this act of transferring money to the female lead would result in my college entrance exam scores being replaced. When the college entrance exam results were announced, she broke down and jumped off a building. My mind was instantly in chaos. The hand entering the password froze, stopping 2 centimeters above the 9 key. Then, as if touching something terrifying, it was quickly withdrawn. I sat in Silence beside the ATM for a long time. Only from the barrage of comments did I piece together the whole truth. The female lead was my classmate and the school beauty, Shenzi, who had bound a replacement system before the college entrance exam. As long as I transferred my tuition fees to her account, the system could swap my exam scores with hers, so she begged her childhood friend for a long time before conspiring with him to trick me using the excuse of a serious illness in my previous life. When I learned that my childhood friend Lin Qingqing was seriously ill, I hurriedly transferred money. I sincerely hoped he could recover after the surgery. I never thought to consider any other possibilities, but I didn't expect that because of my action of transferring money voluntarily, the system judged that I willingly swapped my college entrance exam results for Shenzi. After all, that was my tuition for university. I never realized that my childhood friend was deceiving me, still foolishly waiting for him to repay the money. But when the college entrance exam results were announced and my score turned into 0, my childhood friend's phone was still unreachable. In an instant, countless emotions surged through my heart. Fear, tension, helplessness, and self-blame constantly reminded me that I had been deceived. I sat in front of the computer, at a loss for what to do. The tuition money my parents had worked so hard to earn was gone. The original 700 points in the college entrance exam were gone. I didn't dare to tell my elderly parents. It just so happened that at that time, my childhood friend announced his relationship with Shenzi on WeChat. Moments only then did I realize, turns out, the person he liked wasn't me. Everything was just a hideous lie. In utter despair, I climbed to the rooftop of the school and jumped off. My parents were overwhelmed with guilt upon hearing of my death, regretting not having communicated with me earlier to notice something was wrong, turned gray overnight. And when childhood friend Lin Qingqing learned of my death, his response was just a flippant, "Not my problem. I didn't force her to transfer the money to me, she did it voluntarily." School Belle Shenzi even frowned deeply, putting on a show of defending herself. "I thought that 8,000 yuan was my mother's living expenses transferred to me. I'm really sorry, I'll return it to you." But I had already died because of that 8,000 yuan. I couldn't come back to life. Later, as the bullet comment said, Shenzi started an extraordinary life, kicking Lin Qingqing aside, saying that she was just using him. After graduating from university, she went on to earn her master's and doctorate, and her investment company prospered, everything going smoothly. My parents, however, ran around tirelessly for my unjust death. Ultimately, they were killed by Shenzi's followers, and in the end, I only received a belated, remorseful apology from Lin Qingqing. Why should I die unjustly, and my parents be harmed? The mastermind roams free, enjoying a lifetime of happiness. The concrete ground beneath my feet is soaked by one drop of tears after another, my eyes burning with hatred. Lin Qingqing, Shenzi, this lifetime, I will not let you off. After I stopped typing the password, the comments section erupted into chaos. Why isn't the female supporting character entering the password? Hurry up, enter the password quickly, transfer the money to the female lead, so she can get high scores and become the city's top scorer. Exactly. Isn't she supposed to love the male lead the most and always listen to him? What's going on now? If the female supporting character doesn't cooperate and transfer the money, how can my female lead start her amazing life? My sister baby only got a smooth path and met various noble person after becoming the city's top scorer, eventually becoming a legendary woman. Please, female supporting character, move faster. I don't want to see a wife-chasing story. I want to see a powerful female lead story. After reading a few high school wife-chasing novels, I was so disgusted, finally found a novel where the female lead doesn't love the male lead, only herself. Let's get the plot moving. Everyone is urging me towards the predetermined, dreadful end, being drained by the female lead, used as her stepping stone, but I am unwilling. Is a heroine who steps on others' bones worthy of being called a great heroine? She's nothing but a despicable thief. I swiftly withdrew the bank card my parents had prepared for me, clutching it tightly in my hand. My tuition, my grades, my life, no problems can occur. Returning home in a daze, I carefully hid the bank card that would determine my fate, ensuring it wouldn't be found by anyone. Then, my phone in my pocket vibrated slightly. I opened it. It turned out to be a call from my childhood friend, Lin Qingqing. I knew he was calling about my tuition fees, so I calmed down and let the phone ring for a while before answering. I spoke in a flat tone. "Is there something you need?" He seemed unaccustomed to my attitude and hesitated slightly, then he asked rather anxiously, "Xia, why haven't you transferred the surgery fee to me yet? I'm just short of your 8,000 yuan to have the surgery. You wouldn't want me to be bedridden for life because of you, would you?" To play the part thoroughly, Lin Qingqing even coughed a few times as if it were real. In an attempt to elicit my sympathy, I let out a few cold laughs. And casually spun a lie. You mean that 8,000 yuan, I spent it. What on earth could you have spent 8,000 yuan on? His voice suddenly rose, as if blaming me for spending my own money. Ridiculous, what I spend my money on. There's no need to report to him, is there? Compared to Lin Qingqing, the one who reacted more strongly was the school beauty Shen Ziyi by his side. She snatched the phone away, deliberated for a while, and then accused me sarcastically, Xia, do you know that Qingqing is very ill and it could be just a matter of days now? You can't just stand by and watch him die, can you? It's just 8,000 yuan, and we're not saying we won't pay you back. Can't you show some kindness? Me, oh, no, I can't. Shen Ziyi's subsequent words got stuck in her throat. I truly wish Lin Qingqing was sick and about to die. I feel even less burdened in my heart. It seems the phone has returned to his hands once again. Lin Qingqing's words were harsh. Tightly suppressing his anger, Jiang Xia, are you doing this on purpose? Is that what you want to see? My death? Fine, I will never talk to you again. The call was disconnected. I rubbed my ear, which had been ringing, with an indifferent expression. The bullet screen quickly scrolled by. The female supporting character is really inconsiderate, even if it's a lie. Lin Qingqing used to treat her so well, and she shouldn't be showing no emotion at all, right? Heart of stone, no wonder the female supporting character is so unlikable. Even when someone pleads with her humbly, she still looks indifferent. She deserves to have her college entrance exam scores stolen and to end up jumping to her death. It's fine, the female lead has plenty of ways to make the supporting character cough up that 8,000 yuan. It was never hers to begin with, so don't even think about it. I coldly glanced at the comments, almost as if speaking to myself. Whether it's hers or not is still uncertain. In no time, I learned about Shen Ziyi's method from the comments. She blocked the entrance to my house, her eyes red and swollen, looking like a frightened little rabbit. She asked me cautiously, Xia, Qingqing is really very sick. Please go see him. It might be the last time you see him. Of course, we don't blame you. It's just fulfilling one of his wishes, you know. Qingqing is the type who is tough on the outside but soft on the inside. He actually cares a lot about you. Seems my 8,000 yuan is pretty crucial. Lin Qingqing can't get it and will die. I pretended to be confused. If you don't have money, go to charity fundraising. What are you looking for me for? My family isn't some wealthy household. When I was in high school, my weekly allowance was only 50 yuan. 8,000 yuan is too much. Aren't you claiming to be a rich young lady? Why don't you give it to him? Just as I was about to close the door, I poked my head out and added another sentence. Oh, and if you're about to die, you should contact the crematorium. I don't have the strength to dig a grave for him. Hearing this, the bullet comments on the screen started flashing wildly. The female supporting character's words are so harsh. Even when her childhood friend is about to die, she's still making such vulgar jokes. Can't she just give the money and die already? Why isn't the heroine's act of playing the victim working at all? It's not satisfying at all, but the words from the female supporting character are satisfying. Don't let her die so quickly. What's your intention? Upstairs, don't you know the heroine system has requirements? If the required satisfaction value isn't reached, she'll lose her halo. Satisfaction value, female lead's aura. I lowered my eyes, pondering the connections between these things. Shen Ziyi never studied during her 3 years of high school, and her grades were abysmal, while I consistently ranked at the top, being the teacher's favorite. If she really succeeds in replacing my college entrance exam scores and becomes the city's top scorer, would the satisfaction level mentioned in the comments increase? After all, a good-for-nothing student who miraculously turns around to become the city's top scorer, it just feels so satisfying. But what if she doesn't succeed in replacing the scores? The thrill kept diminishing, and everything she had now, would it all disappear? I slightly curved the corner of my mouth and suddenly opened the door. Ziyi, I think you're right. I really should go see Lin Qingqing one last time. After all, he was once very good to me. Shen Ziyi, who was initially resentful outside the door, became overjoyed upon hearing my words and hurriedly dragged me into the car. Then hurry up, Qingqing has been waiting for you. Wait for me, waiting for my tuition fee. I bet. Hospital. The place reeked of disinfectant. Lin Qingqing's ward was on the 3rd floor. Opening the door, I indeed saw the pale, weak man lying on the hospital bed, barely clinging to life. Seeing me, a glimmer of joy flashed in his eyes. Xia, you're here. After speaking, another bout of uncontrollable coughing ensued. Shen Ziyi beside me looked visibly restrained. Xia, I really didn't lie to you, Qingqing. He's truly at death's door, and desperately needs that 8,000 yuan to save his life. Damn, as expected of the female lead, with such strong mental fortitude, even her own devoted dog can be sacrificed to curse the heavens. That's what you say. However, I quickly took a few steps forward and pulled out my phone to start taking pictures. Lin Qingqing's hand, which had instinctively reached out, froze in midair, and he asked in confusion, Xiaxia, what are you doing? I answered while taking photos for the class group chat. How could I not inform our former classmates about such a major event as you being sick? Besides, your surgery fees are still insufficient, so I need to inform everyone to raise funds together. Oh, right, I already posted on my moments when I arrived. Many people want to come to pay their respects, visit you. What did you say? Everyone knows. Lin Qingqing, who had just been lying in bed, suddenly widened his eyes and sat up to question. He quickly opened his phone and saw countless messages of concern, his face turning ashen. Qingqing, why didn't you tell your classmates about your serious illness? I still have some pocket money left, though not much. I've transferred it to you. Lin, which hospital are you in? My classmates and I plan to visit you together. Transfer 500, transfer 1,000. Qingqing, you must get better. We will all be with you. More and more messages popped up on the phone. Even Lin Qingqing's parents called, asking what had happened to their son, as he was crying uncontrollably. I'm perfectly healthy, but I spread rumors that I'm on the verge of death, which would be considered inauspicious by anyone, let alone the usually prideful Lin Qingqing. Everyone assumed he was too shy to borrow money for treatment. Why did you tell others? This is my business. I frowned and retorted, what's there to hide? And didn't you say you're terminally ill and can't even afford the surgery? I asked classmates to care for you, and I'm the one who's wrong. He gritted his teeth. I'm not even sick. Shen Ziyi coughed a few times, interrupting Lin Qingqing's next words. Perhaps seeing the anger on my face, Shen Ziyi quickly blinked to signal him not to say more, switching to a smiling face towards me. Xiaxia, don't be angry. Qingqing was just in a hurry. He's been holding it in for so long because he's afraid everyone will worry, right? Look, everyone else is being so nice to Qingqing, raising money for the surgery. Shouldn't you too? Before the words had even finished, the door of the ward suddenly opened. A large group of people entered. Some were high school classmates here to offer condolences, some were relatives and friends, and others were professionals handling post-mortem affairs. Cries mixed with the sound of Suona horns. A sudden uproar filled the air. Lin Qingqing looked at the group in the hospital room, his forehead veins throbbing with irritation. Feeling utterly hopeless, Shen Ziyi was squeezed into a corner, gaping in shock. I watched the scene before me, raising an eyebrow slightly. It was worth sending so many messages to all my contacts. Besides, Lin Qingqing himself said he doesn't have much time left, so it shouldn't be a problem for me to help spread the word, right? With so many people concerned, the surgery fee should be raised quickly. The barrage of comments kept flashing. No, I'm about to laugh out of anger. What is the female antagonist doing? Is it interesting? Just tricking her once, and now she's making a big deal out of it, notifying everyone. She's clearly trying to make sure everyone knows about the heroine and hero's plan. Isn't she? Wow, the female antagonist is really smart. She didn't spend a single penny herself. She got everyone else to chip in for the surgery fees. I can't imagine how devastated the heroine must be. You guys should look at the male lead. He seems like he's about to fall apart, being informed by his childhood friend about all his relatives and friends. Now he'll go from being healthy to sick. Even childhood friends. I don't think we're even close to being acquaintances. Other classmates have donated hundreds of dollars, in the midst of chaos. Lin Qingqing could no longer endure the care of so many people and finally broke down, shouting wildly, enough, I'm not sick. The chaotic ward immediately fell silent. Everyone exchanged glances. I dabbed some saliva under my eyes with my fingers, making it look like I was on the verge of tears out of concern for my childhood friend. How could that be? Qingqing, don't be afraid. Ziyi has already told me everything. You have cancer and don't have much time left, so how could you be without illness? As I spoke, I choked up with sobs. Shen Ziyi's expression suddenly changed, and before she could stop him, Lin Qingqing roared again, I'm really not sick. Get out of here, all of you. Hearing this, I decisively dug out the call record from when I spoke to him. Although it was an unfamiliar number, I recognized my childhood friend's voice the moment the call connected, which is why I was so foolishly naive and transferred the money in my previous life. I anxiously looked at him, shoving the record in his face. is this really not you? Lin Qingqing naturally knew it was him calling from an unregistered SIM card, but to distance himself, he still awkwardly turned his head away. No, I'm not sick. Why would I borrow money from you? Okay, in front of everyone, I turned around and dialed a number, speaking seriously. Hello, I'd like to report a case of fraud. Lin Qingqing was stunned. Shen Ziyi was greatly shocked. The bullet screen was filled with question marks. No way, this sister is way too bold. The female lead is doing great, finally not being a love-struck fool. Wow, where did this twist come from? This is awesome. Let them keep calling Shen Ziyi the thief the main character of a cool story. Don't be so hateful towards the strong female lead. Okay, you must have read a lot of submissive wife stories, right? A minor female supporting character isn't worth our baby girl protagonist lifting a finger. Exactly, the supporting female character is way too much. It was just a joke, yet it escalated to the point of calling the police. Whoever befriends her is really unlucky. Let's hope she doesn't leave a criminal record for our baby girl protagonist, regardless of what the bullet comments say. 10 minutes later, the police still took me, Lin Qingqing, and Shen Ziyi away. During the routine interrogation, Lin Qingqing and Shen Ziyi stubbornly refused to admit to defrauding me, claiming it was just a joke. I didn't expect you to take it so seriously. It actually drew the police's attention. Shen Ziyi realized what was happening and said with a hint of pride, "We were really just joking with her. My family is very wealthy. Why would we scam her money? It's not even enough for my monthly living expenses." As she spoke, he nudged Lin Qingqing's arm. He took the hint and firmly insisted that he hadn't broken the law, often using such benign deception. In the past, I don't know why I reacted so strongly this time, but the police are not like the audience in a live stream. They're not naive. 8,000 yuan is no small amount, let alone the college tuition saved by a poor student. They discovered that the unfamiliar phone number belonged to Lin Qingqing. They also retrieved the call records from that time, confirming that there was no possibility of AI involvement. The incident where Lin Qingqing conspired with Shen Ziyi to defraud me of my 8,000 yuan tuition constitutes fraud and is prosecutable. But when the police asked me if I wanted to pursue the matter to the end, the bullet screen flashed again. Where's the promised strong female lead? I didn't see any, just two idiots being played around by the female supporting character. It's just a matter of giving 8,000 yuan. What's the female supporting character being so sentimental about? She can just earn it again. Hurry up and move the plot along so my female lead can become the top scorer in the college entrance exam. Can you stop arguing? Do you know the female lead system has already stopped communicating with her due to the decline in the pleasure value? It's really annoying with you fence-sitters, always crying out at the slightest bit of suppression. The real pleasure comes from the subsequent eruption after suppression. Okay, I quickly extracted useful information from these comments. Shen Ziyi can't communicate with the system anymore. That's really unfortunate. This is a good opportunity for me. The police once again emphasized whether I wanted to pursue the matter to the end. My eyes flickered, and I changed my answer. No. They were a bit surprised, but they still respected my decision. I found Shen Ziyi and asked her very seriously, "Ziyi, are you really just joking? Then why didn't Qingqing get sick? But you kept asking me for money. You should know that was my tuition for college, money my parents worked very hard to earn." At this, a hint of impatience flashed in her eyes. Knowing that I always respond better to gentleness than force, she sighed softly and made up a story. Xia, my dad had an investment failure and needs a lot of money. Shen Ziyi gently bit her lip. I've borrowed from everyone around me, but Qingqing told me that you still have an extra 8,000 yuan, so I thought of borrowing from you first. I originally wanted to be honest with you, but Qingqing said it's best not to let you know, since our relationship has always been strained, and he came up with an idea. Xia, don't blame him. We didn't really mean to deceive you. It was really out of necessity. Her eyes reddened slightly, as if recalling some sad memory. I secretly chuckled to myself. Such great acting skills. It's a pity she didn't become an actress, but her expression remained unchanged. She gripped her hand tightly and said eagerly, "Really? Then I should definitely lend it to you, but all my 8,000 yuan is in cash. Do you need it?" Shen Ziyi's eyes lit up instantly, and she nodded vigorously. "Needed, Xia, thank you." With the cheers of the barrage, I bailed the two of them out. Shen Ziyi gave me 3 days specifically to persuade my parents. The college entrance exam scores will be released in a week. Since I gave her a definite answer, she wasn't in a hurry. Instead, Lin Qingqing kept glaring at me with clenched teeth, urging me to lend the money quickly. "If you don't lend it to Ziyi again, I really won't talk to you anymore. Disgusting. I looked at him with a gaze that said he was an idiot. Instead, he put on airs and left with Shenzi in a luxury car. They didn't send me home. I had no choice but to take the bus. After riding for more than 10 stops and transferring to another bus midway, I finally arrived at my doorstep. It was already very late. Mom and Dad had finished dinner and left a bowl specially for me. I turned on the light and swallowed it down bit by bit, tears mixing in. Hearing the noise in the living room, the lights in my parents' bedroom turned on, and they sighed in relief upon seeing it was me. What were you doing at school? You're back so late. When I went to the hospital in the afternoon, to keep them from worrying, I casually told a lie. I said there was something at school that I had to attend to. They believed this wholeheartedly. Hearing my parents' genuine words at this moment, remained silent, afraid that speaking would reveal something amiss. After ensuring I had control over my emotions, I smiled faintly. It's okay. The school asked us to attend a volunteer meeting, and there were too many people. Asking one by one would be too time-consuming. My dad rubbed his tired eyes and instructed, "Oh, I see. Get some rest early, my dear." Such an ordinary and normal sentence caused my tears to burst forth. My dad works as a daily laborer at a construction site, earning 100 yuan a day. Mom works in a small workshop, earning less, only 80 a day. It took months of hard saving to gather my tuition and living expenses. In my previous life, I trusted my childhood friends so much that I transferred it to him without hesitation. Not only did I bring harm to myself, but I also caused great suffering to my parents. Wipe away the tears. I silently vowed in my heart, this lifetime, I will absolutely not let them suffer the pain of losing a daughter again. The day of the appointment soon arrived. I carried a bag of money and found Shenzi. At that time, she was cozying up to her childhood friend Lin Qingqing, doing all sorts of flirtatious things. Seeing the bag of money I had slung over my shoulder, her eyes lit up with intense joy, but upon closer inspection, noticing that it was packed in a urea bag, a fleeting expression of disdain. Xia, you really came. I knew you were the best to me. Thank you. I will definitely repay this money to you. Hearing Shenzi's pretended solemn promise, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. In my previous life, until I died, until my parents died running around for my affairs, she never repaid that money. Mouth says there's not much money, but in reality, would rather leave it aside. Instead of returning it proactively, say one thing to your face, another behind your back. Lin Qingqing, standing beside me, frowned as she saw me hesitating to hand the tuition fee to the young lady. She snatched the snakeskin bag away, forced me to present it with both hands. Even if I showed discomfort, he simply pretended not to see it. I sneered. Following his movements, she handed the money from the bag to Shenzi. She accepted it without a word. The joy in her eyes, however, could not be concealed. Barrage of cheers. Great. The love-struck supporting actress finally gave the tuition fee to the heroine baby. Her college entrance exam score and city top scorer will all be the heroine babies now. I'm really convinced. What's there to be reluctant about with just 8,000 yuan? She kept dangling the heroine, causing the plot to be stuck in limbo. But fortunately, the supporting actress saw the light and understood her role. What belongs to the heroine has finally returned to her. It was so exhausting to watch, waiting for the score check to see the female lead humiliate everyone. +1, oh, is it the online score check for thousands of students at the school? I'm really looking forward to it too. Shenzi's father is the school board chairman, the kind with a lot of money. He specially convinced others to hold a score review meeting at the school on the day the results were announced for her sake. After all, his daughter estimated a score of 700, a sure candidate for Tsinghua or Peking University. The school board chairman, deeply convinced by his daughter's words, ordered all students to attend with their parents. On the day of the results check, my parents took leave and dressed in their finest to accompany me to school. Dad seemed a bit flustered. Xia, I won't embarrass you, will I? Mom also hesitated. That's right, Xia. We never attended your parent-teacher meetings during your 3 years of high school. Is it okay for us to suddenly show up now? My eyes felt a bit sore. It's not that it's not good, it's that my parents are afraid of embarrassing me in front of others. But things are different now. My college entrance exam scores are enough to break all prejudices. They will also become model parents. There's nothing to be ashamed of. On a sunny day, the school's playground was not at all hot, but unusually cool. Since I excelled academically, I sat in the first row of the class. Mom and Dad on either side. On the white wall of the playground, a computer projection began to appear. TSK. It seems that Principal Shen spared no expense for his daughter. As students, Shenzi and Lin Qingqing were supposed to be seated in the audience. However, due to some special relationship. The two walked straight to the stage and plopped down. Their parents recognized Lin Qingcheng and eagerly greeted him, only to be completely ignored. The atmosphere immediately became extremely awkward. Qingcheng probably didn't hear it. Hee. My expression immediately turned cold. What do you mean, didn't hear it? It's just that I no longer have any value to him, so he doesn't bother maintaining a relationship with me. Even Shen Ziyi, who had been so friendly to me just a few days ago, calling me Xia affectionately, didn't spare me a glance. Seeing me staring at her from the audience, she raised an eyebrow, looking confident and composed. In response to her father's repeated questioning, she said disdainfully, "Dad, don't worry, I've already told you I was controlling my scores before. I'm definitely getting 700 in the college entrance exam. What are you so worried about? If I don't get 700, let me jump off the building and die." Then, the principal gave a long speech full of inspiring words before announcing that the score review would officially begin. Our class was last in line. There was still a long time to go. Technicians input the exam numbers and passwords one by one, initiating the queries. As the massive numbers appeared on the white screen, sighs and exclamations rose and fell, yet, even the highest score was only 620, far from being enough to astound everyone. Bullet comments are even more impatient. Hurry up, even faster. I want to see the female lead slap everyone in the face. Let those top students mock our female lead for not studying hard. Our baby female lead doesn't need to study to score high marks, to get into Tsinghua or Peking University. Plus, she's rich. What do those people have besides a few hundred points on their exams? I sneered. What do those top students have? Of course, there is also the correct value system, the courage to forge ahead without looking back, the relentless effort day in and day out for a decade, and the weariness and hardship of studying late into the night by lamplight. Shen Ziyi, this thief, is not worthy of being mentioned in the same breath. Soon, it's our class's turn. I am the top student in the class, and my student ID number is also the first. No matter what, you should have checked my score first. But just as the technician was about to press the last candidate number, they were suddenly stopped by Shen Ziyi on the stage. Her mocking smile met mine from afar, her red lips parting slightly. I think we should start from the last place, don't you think? After all, the highest score should be saved for last, right, Xia? Hearing this, I lazily raised my eyes, meeting her gaze without fear, my smile fake and cold. All right, then let's start with Ziyi, who has consistently held the last place in our class for countless times. At this, the crowd below the stage burst into laughter and began whispering among themselves, who would allow the top student of the grade to first check the work of the last place student. Do you think you performed exceptionally well? Lin Qingcheng's brows furrowed deeply as he glared at me. Jiang Xia, why do you speak so harshly? Ziyi's poor grades before were just controlled scores. Do you really think you can surpass her? Oh, so, Shen Ziyi had been deceiving him all along. It's terrifyingly stupid. I shook my head, completely ignoring the rants of certain people, but most of the class got along well with Shen Ziyi. After all, she's the daughter of the school board chairman, and she's generous with her spending. They all clamored about how it wasn't fair to let someone who was at the bottom of the class go first. Were they favoring good students over those with poor grades? I think Ziyi must have performed exceptionally well, estimating 700 points. Jiang Xia must be afraid of being outdone and showing weakness. Right, her first place is about to be taken over. Exactly. Jiang Xia always thinks she's so great with her grades, acting all high and mighty. So annoying. Listening to the comments from the audience, Shen Ziyi smirked lightly, signaling her school board father to start checking the scores. Mr. Shen, the school board member, conveyed the message with a cheerful smile. Soon, Shen Ziyi's name and exam number appeared on the white screen in front of her, in full view of everyone. The page switched. What followed was a big fat 0. The red was glaring. Everyone saw it all without blinking, their faces filled with shock. What the hell? Didn't Shen Ziyi say she scored 700 points? What's this 0 then? Laughing to death, the school flower who was a poor student forced herself into a top student persona. And it backfired, didn't it? She kept saying she was the city's top scorer, but she got called out. You must be mistaken. How is this possible? Ziyi's estimated score wasn't like this. Compared to the whispers of the crowd, the expressions of the leaders on stage were varied. Chairman Shen's face was as black as a pot bottom. Shen Ziyi's mouth slightly opened, looking incredulous, but she quickly snapped back to reality, anxiously trying to explain. It's a mistake. It must be a mistake. Dad, I know. It's because I scored too high, over 700 points. That's why this happened. Lin Qingqing beside her also quickly tried to smooth things over. That's right, Ziyi never lies. It must be because she scored too well and her results were blocked. I bet the phone calls from Tsinghua and Peking University will come any moment now. Hearing this, the expression on Chairman Shen's face softened a bit, choosing without hesitation to trust his daughter. I stood up, scoffing to interrupt their solo performance. Is that enough? Are we still going to check the scores or not? It's such a waste of time. Alright, Jiang Xia, let's check your grades first. After learning that her college entrance exam score was so high it was blocked from public view, Shen Ziyi was extremely proud and couldn't wait to see me break down over my low score. Jiang Xia, ID number 130 ## 7856. Got it. 726 points. My goodness. The top scorer in the college entrance exam for sure. The technician covered his mouth tightly, as if he couldn't believe that the top scorer would actually appear in their school. Amidst the shock came a strong sense of joy. The other students were also in an uproar, their eyes burning with excitement as they looked at me. Jiang Xia is indeed a top student, 726 points. Hey, she's been scoring 680, 690 in her mock exams all along. She even performed above her usual level in the college entrance exam. Lin Qingqing on the stage stiffened at the corners of her mouth, looking at me with a complicated gaze. Shen Ziyi, who had been looking down, waiting for the show, looked up in shock, her voice stammering. How is that possible? Jiang Xia, you must have cheated. How could you score over 700? I'm the one who should have scored 700. On the other side, the puzzled principal suddenly received a phone call and, after hearing the conversation on the other end, looked at me with a mixture of surprise and uncertainty. Yes, we are the affiliated high school of City X. What? The top scorer in the college entrance exam is real. The name is Jiang Xia, not Shen Ziyi. In an instant, countless eyes focused on me, like flashes of a camera. I held my parents' hands tightly, laughing through my tears. What belongs to me, no one can take it away. This time, Shen Ziyi's reputation was utterly ruined. After hearing directly from the principal that the city's top scorer was not her but me, she completely fell apart. How is that possible? I was supposed to be the city's top scorer. I already switched Jiang Xia's college entrance exam scores. With that, I finished, realizing something was wrong. She panicked and covered her mouth. Lin Qingqing, the closest to her, was struck dumb by this statement and repeated it in a daze. You swapped Xiaxia's college entrance exam scores, Shen Ziyi, so you've been lying all along. No, I'm not lying. I am the top scorer. I got 700 points, a full 700 points. System, say something. Why can't I talk to you? Come out now. I coldly watched her somewhat frenzied appearance. Can't you handle just a little setback? In my previous life, I couldn't take it after losing my expensive tuition, my college entrance exam scores, and my life before jumping off a building. Is this the level of resilience expected of a strong female lead in a popular novel? The barrage of comments flooded in. What the hell? The heroine system isn't working. Didn't they say that as long as the supporting female character willingly gives the heroine money, she can replace her college entrance exam scores? Why are the heroine's scores 0? So embarrassing. Not cool at all. The heroine's downfall. I saw the supporting female character hand over a bag of money to the heroine's baby with my own eyes. Right, could it be that the stupid supporting female character did something sneaky? Wah, I feel so bad for the heroine's baby. It was supposed to be her shining moment, but it was stolen by the love-struck supporting female character. The heroine's satisfaction level has dropped to 10%. It's over. She has to return everything she swapped from others. What should we do? Everyone, think of a solution quickly. Oh, is this good news? I squinted my eyes and finally found mentions of Shen Ziyi's previous actions of using the system to seize others' belongings among the thousands of abusive comments directed at me. Shen Ziyi came from a poor family during middle school. She couldn't even afford to go to school. After her first system binding, she set her sights on the kind person who was preparing to sponsor her. As long as the big boss provided her with the sponsorship funds, Shen Ziyi could replace all the financial paths of the boss's household. Later, the sponsor indeed went bankrupt. Life was hard. Their family, however, started a company and amassed wealth on a large scale, their life becoming increasingly prosperous. At the age of 14, Shen Ziyi exchanged her best friend's better looks for her own. After playing for a few more years, he set his sights on my college entrance exam scores. Each and every incident is too numerous to list. As for why her replacement failed, it was indeed me who tampered with it. it's not too much to ask to give her some fake money, right? The money is fake, the substitution naturally failed, that 8,000 yuan is still safely tucked under my pillow. When Mr. Shen, the school board chairman, was about to comfort his daughter, he received a call about his family's bankruptcy, and they owed hundreds of millions in debt. As the skies seemed to fall, he also saw his daughter's breathtakingly beautiful face slowly fade, transforming back into the ordinary face with freckles she had before. Daughter, your face. Lin Qingqing beside her was so shocked that she lost her voice. Ziyi, how did you become so ugly? Ugh, Dad, what happened to my face? She frantically snatched the mirror from her father's hand and saw her hideous self in the mirror the next second. Scream at the top of my lungs. I hear her calling out to the system over and over again, but Shen Ziyi receives no response from the system. High scores are gone, money is gone, the proud face is gone. Under the triple blow, Shen Ziyi can no longer maintain the dignity of the strong female lead and collapses. Fleeing, pushing through everyone, she ran all the way to the rooftop of the tallest building on campus. In front of countless teachers, students, and parents, she leaned against the edge of the rooftop, crying out about her suffering. My money, my face, my title as the top scorer in the college entrance exam, all gone. You have to compensate me. Just 2 centimeters short, and she would have fallen from the height of the teaching building, over 10 meters high. Director Shen and several leaders were frightened out of their wits. Daughter, come down quickly, come down, let's talk it over. It's just that you didn't do well on the exam, you become ugly, and you're broke. It's not a big deal. But hearing his meaningless comforting words, Shen Ziyi cried even louder. After crying enough, she glared at me with resentment. Jiang Xia, it's all your fault. Why didn't you give me your college entrance exam scores? You're just a lousy supporting character. Why didn't you follow my predetermined path? It's all your fault. It's all your fault. The principal was afraid something serious might happen, hurriedly urged me to apologize. Even those who had just been displeased with Shen Ziyi chimed in, urging me to apologize quickly. I curled my lips and took a step toward her direction, but I was stopped by Lin Qingqing, who had been watching the scene unfold. His tone was complicated. Xia, you don't need to go over. Everyone has to take responsibility for their own actions. She ended up in this situation today. It's truly her own fault. I looked at him in some surprise. Is it because he found out I'm the top scorer in the college entrance exam, and now he's quickly trying to build a connection? I didn't even acknowledge him and walked straight toward Shen Ziyi. Don't come over, or I'll jump. I knew she wouldn't dare, so I stood right in front of her. The sun grew stronger, all the brilliant sunlight was blocked by my figure, leaving no gaps. Shen Ziyi looked up in a daze, meeting my teasing gaze. Then, I leaned down and whispered 2 words in her ear. She was instantly overcome with terror, collapsing to the ground in fear. Coincidentally, the Tsinghua and Peking University admission teams had already arrived at the school, calling out to me from a distance, which one of your students is Jiang Xia? Let's discuss her admission to our school. Witnessing the most dazzling moment of my life, after a heart-wrenching scream, Shen Ziyi fell off the high-rise without a trace of hesitation. However, apart from the school leaders, no one cared about her lying in a pool of blood. Becoming the city's top scorer, I successfully earned tens of thousands in prize money and took my parents on a tour of scenic spots. They have never left that small county town for my sake. This is what I, as a child, should repay. Lin Qingqing has come to see me many times, but each time he was met with a closed door. He got entangled in an investment whirlpool due to Shen Ziyi's affairs and owes a lot of money. I used to think very simply, if someone treated me well, I would treat them well in return, but this goodness cannot be without any limits. Thank him for letting me understand the meaning of this phrase through personal experience. The moment I stepped through the gates of Peking University, normal bullet comments finally appeared. I think the female supporting character is the real big heroine, right? Studying hard for over a decade, relying on her own efforts to become the city's top scorer in the college entrance exam, earning tens of thousands in prize money, and using her writing hands to break through the confines of a destitute home. Yeah, I can't believe I can finally send bullet comments. Who knows how long I've been muted because of those irrational fans of the main female lead, Shen Ziyi. Each of us wants to be the heroine of a satisfying story, but we are all just ordinary people after all. Being Jiang Xia is good enough. What kind of morally corrupt trashy story is this? Reported, a thief can be the heroine. This system is brain dead too. Wow, the satisfaction value of the supporting character Jiang Xia has reached 80%. Immediately, a cold, mechanical system voice echoed in my mind. Host, hello, I am the replacement system that can help you. Fulfill any wish, as long as the conditions are met. Please choose whether to bind. Without any hesitation, I said, no. After a series of chaotic current sounds, the system disappeared. I finally breathed a complete sigh of relief. My life has never needed any wish fulfillment system. With the regained 8,000 yuan for tuition, I headed towards a brighter future. After hearing the stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.